Welcome to another episode of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Johnny Gazarowski.
And I'm Leilani James. Leatherneck Insider reporter Will Thomas sat down with Macomb High Volleyball to talk about their season expectations.
Macomb High's volleyball team is ready to go after having over a year-and-a-half layoff. The 2019 regional champs fell one game short of making the sectional finals. We sat down with head coach Brianna Rexo about her expectations for this 2021 spring season.
To try to speed up our offense a little bit, we need to work on being quick, lowering our sets, spreading out our offense a little bit, being a threat with our quickness. We don't have the height. We have a couple that are got some jumps to them. But as far as being tall across the board, it's going to be hard for us to get a big, strong block up. So we need to be quicker. So our goal this year is to kind of work on speed for play-wise. As a team, just to try to provide a place for them to go to and be together as much as we can in this weird time that we're in.
For the players, the excitement is centered around getting back into the gym with their teammates and finding a way to still make this COVID season memorable.
I'm just excited to be in the gym with everybody again and to be able to play, and then all the new incoming freshmen, just seeing what they can work with and helping them out and just playing with them.
The Bombers start a 3-game homestand later this week against Payson Seymour High School. Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I am Will Thomas.
As we moved from the volleyball court over to the golf links, the Western Illinois men and women's golf team will have their first tournament in over a year at their course. The Bumazzato tournament will feature 8 other teams in the men's tournament, and the women will have a dual meet this weekend against Omaha. In the past, the team has had some trouble with weather that they have had to deal with, but they are still looking forward to what they can accomplish this weekend.
I think we're ready. Hopefully we won't get snow. When we did host before COVID, we had a day of a crazy snowstorm. So I'm just hoping for good weather and to be able to get the tournament in. It'd be nice for both teams to play.
Now let's send it over to Kylie Rogers to talk about WIU softball.
Western Illinois finally was able to get their cleats dirty at Mary Ellen McKee Stadium this past weekend. The Leathernecks hosted preseason favorite North Dakota State Bison, splitting the series 2-2. Runs were not an issue for each team as they combined for 59 runs over the weekend. The Leathernecks were able to get off to a hot start, winning Game 1 of Saturday's doubleheader 6-2 behind great pitching of Abby Carlin and Savannah Rodriguez. Unfortunately, the Leathernecks lost Game 2 and 3 of the weekend before picking up their second Summit League victory in Game 4. This weekend series marks the first win for head coach Alyssa Golier here on her home turf.
Exciting. I mean, in the years that I've been here, we haven't beat them. For me, my biggest goal, and I think the team's biggest goal, has been to beat North Dakota State. And I think having them be our opening weekend after playing Mizzou, who is really good competition, and all of these other teams prior to, I think that really prepared us very, very well to go and compete against North Dakota State. And I think that we took advantage of the opportunities that we had. Yeah, we executed well.
I like winning in general, whether it's home or away. So it was great to win 2 at home, and as much fun as it was, it's now out of my mind because I want to win another 2 or 4 at home this weekend.
Also back in action this weekend against South Dakota State Jackrabbits after dropping their first Summit League series to the Bison of North Dakota State. The Leathernecks were led by great pitching, who combined for 20 strikeouts on the weekend. Smart base running also helped propel them to take a 3-1 series lead over the Jackrabbits. It is the first series win for WIU this season and is also head coach Annie Pisco's first series win at Western Illinois. Western Illinois is looking to ride this 3-game win streak and finish up the 12-game homestand as they get ready to take on Oral Roberts. Western Illinois University welcomed the University of Northern Iowa into town. The Leathernecks deferred the toss and the Panthers went to work in the very first play of the game. Panthers quarterback Justin Fomby found Isaiah Weston for the score. Western Illinois marched on the field but was stopped short of a touchdown after WIU's Connor Sampson took the sack for an 8-yard loss. The next play, Tony Tate made a spectacular catch, but unfortunately that was as far as it got. At the end of the first quarter, Northern Iowa was ahead 7-0. As the second quarter began, Western Illinois defense came up big, sacking Fomby in the backfield for a huge loss. The big defensive plays eventually led to a Northern Iowa missed field goal. Western Illinois used the momentum and marched down the field, where Connor Sampson found Daniel Bender for one of their 2 touchdowns on the day, tying the game at 7-7 early in the second quarter. The Leathernecks defense gave up a field goal, but the Leathernecks offense came back out ready to score. They drove down the field where Sampson and Dennis Houston connected for the 4th down conversion. The drive almost ended in 3 points until the Panthers defense came flying through the line of scrimmage and blocked the field goal, returning it 62 yards for the score, bringing the score to 17-7 in favor of the Panthers. Western Illinois received the second half kickoff but could not convert, which led to a 6-yard touchdown run for Tyler Huseman and the Panthers extending their lead to 17. Late in the third quarter, Mason Laramie added 3 points for Western Illinois. In the early fourth quarter, UNI added a field goal and Laramie added on 3 more points for the Leathernecks. Both teams went on to score a touchdown, where the Leathernecks fell 34-20 against Northern Iowa. Western Illinois is still trying to find the win column with only 3 games left as they host Youngstown State and then travel on the road for the final 2 games of the 2021 spring football season. When we get back, Leatherneck insider reporter Brendan Reedy sits down with Coach Elliott to discuss this past weekend's game and the upcoming games.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Your vision.
When I arrived at Western, I discovered the fields of recreation, park, and tourism administration.
Our mission.
My professors challenged me to develop new ideas and help me grow as a student and a person.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Now we go to Brendan Reedy, who sits down with head football coach Jared Elliott for the Coaches Show.
All right, Coach, obviously not the outcome you wanted against UNI. How do you build up this week?
Well, you just got to continue to draw from the positives every week, and then you got to look at the things that you need to correct to have more success. And there's obviously some glaring things that we can continue to strive to improve to put ourselves in better positions to win games and get a different outcome.
And the Panthers scored right away to start off the ball game. What happened on that play that resulted in a touchdown?
Yeah, no, it wasn't anything physical. It was just, we had a guy that didn't play with right eye discipline and do his job, and that's what happens. It takes everyone on the field to do things and do them correctly all the time, so you don't give up those big explosive plays on defense. And obviously, Brendan, you step back and you look at that game. There's 2 glaring plays that resulted in 14 points. Just on 2 plays. The first play of the game where you give up more than a quarter of their total offense, and then the blocked field goal. So those are things that we can control and we can correct. That shouldn't be difficult to correct. It's just trusting what we're doing and our technique, our discipline, our eye discipline, and doing our job, being where we need to be, and then making the play. And those are things that we want to put into action this week.
And you touched on it a little bit. You guys played a really tough first half and an opportunity to tie the game before going into the break, but you touched on it saying they blocked the field goal and brought it back to go up 10. What do you tell your team at the break after that deflating play?
Well, you just keep fighting, man. You got to move on, and you got to play the next play. We obviously, that play specifically, as well as others, didn't go our way, and we didn't execute how we needed to. the only thing you can do is move on and play the next play and get it fixed and corrected. And so, our guys came out the second half. Again, we didn't have the start that I wanted to have coming out of halftime, but our kids fought and they battled, and then they battled all the way to the end. And so, that's always got to be your mindset in this game. You got to move on. You have to have a short memory, and you got to continue to play the next play.
And talking about players that battled, Connor Sampson had a career day despite the loss. What do you have to say about his development as the season progresses on?
I think Connor's doing a lot of really good things. I mean, he's a guy that we trust a lot, and our players trust him. I think he's, overall Connor's making great decisions with the football right now, and especially for a guy that's throwing the ball as many times as we're asking him to do. And, he's got a lot on his shoulders, and he's handling it really well. And Connor is one of those dream players that you want to coach in terms of how much he cares, how much he puts into this game, his preparation throughout the week. And I think that, he's starting to play with a lot of confidence, and it's becoming noticeable.
And Penguins are up next. What did they do well, and how do you plan on getting your first win against Youngstown State?
Yeah, well, Youngstown State is a team, when you look at them statistically, starting defensively, they're doing a really good job in a lot of areas. I think that they do a good job committing to stopping the run. They run a lot of multiple looks on defense, a lot of fronts and pressures, and then they mix in the back end coverages really well. They keep you honest. They keep you off balance. And offensively, they're a team that's really, I feel like, started to hit their stride with their win against South Dakota in their last game, and what they're doing in terms of running the football. They get some dynamic running backs. Their quarterback is he's a guy that's very capable to run the football as well. And so they're a physical football team. What really stands out about Youngstown is how hard they play. They're a team that plays very hard. Plays with a lot of effort. They really strain to finish plays. That's evident on film. So, it's going to be another great test for us, like it is every week in this conference. And for us, we've got to eliminate the big plays. We've got to eliminate the negative plays on offense, and the big plays, the explosive plays on defense. And by doing that, it's just playing more consistent. There's a lot of flashes and a lot of glitzes of this team putting it together, but we got to do that consistently, and we're excited about that opportunity to do that against these guys.
And you talk a little bit about the game plan, but what player or unit do you see having a big game against the Penguins?
Well, I think we got a lot of guys that are, again, I think you watch us, Brennan, and we spread the ball around quite a bit. And so, just offensively, we've got a lot of kids that can make plays for us on the perimeter. Really like how Ludo, our young running back, is really starting to emerge, and what he did for us on Saturday as a young player. And so, I think there's a lot, what we need is just, again, not one guy. We need everyone out there to do their part and make plays when they get an opportunity to, but it's about putting themselves in the right position to make the plays. And that starts with all the stuff between the ears and great mental execution and defensively. I think we've gotten really good play out of both of our safeties with Mike Lawson and Nudoff. I like how we're generating some rush up front with Eric Prestons and Cole Watts and Hunter Masons, and so we got to continue to build on that. But again, it's not about one player. It's we need all 11. We need to see our units really step up and play well together.
And the past few weeks, there have been plenty of cancellations throughout the Valley due to COVID-19. Are you surprised by this, and how have you been able to keep your team clear of COVID so well?
Yeah, no, there's no surprise. As you know, Brendan, there's so much out of your control, and we're still in the pandemic, and it's not over yet. So we knew going into the spring season there were going to be challenges and speed bumps along the way, and I think everybody's experienced that to an extent. Even the teams that are playing like us, we had the first game canceled, but other than that, we've been fortunate enough to maintain week by week being able to play and prepare. But even outside of the COVID, the adversity that everyone's battling with just low roster numbers and injuries that pile up and all those things, it's a very unique and non-traditional year. And we knew that going into it. Proud of our guys, though, that they've been very mature and responsible in how they've handled our protocols and staying within our bubble and making sure that we get the opportunity to play and compete every week has been an important thing for us. And our guys have done a good job of that.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week against the Penguins.
Thanks, Brendan. See you, buddy.
Thank you, Brendan. Coming up next, we head to the professional sports world where Will Thomas talks about predicting the baseball season. And then we talk about the big news surrounding the NFL 2021 season.
Here, I engineer the future.
Here, I have countless opportunities. Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Baseball enthusiast Will Thomas takes over the prediction desk to give the inside scoop on who will be making the MLB playoffs.
Hello everyone and welcome to the prediction desk. I am Will Thomas. Baseball season is right around the corner and there's no better time for me to tell you who I think is going to be in the playoffs. We start out on the West Coast with the NL West. Coming into the 2021 MLB season, the NL West is one of the most top-heavy divisions in baseball. The divisions will be a two-team race from the start with the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. They'll be fighting for that top spot and probably that #1 overall seed. The Padres added the starting pitching that they were lacking last year in 2020. They traded for starters Yu Darvish and Blake Snell, both who had dominant pitching to that top of the rotation. But that'll only be enough to propel them to second place in a date with the wild card game. The Dodgers come in reigning World Series champions, and they added more firepower than they had previously. They added NL Cy Young winner Trevor Bauer to go along with Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw, which makes that starting rotation a playoff team already. But then you add the bats of Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger. This team has all the money in the world, and it seems like they bought themselves another division title and a trip to the postseason. The NL Central, on the other hand, is probably one of the most open divisions in baseball. At the beginning of the season, it looks like this is a three-horse race with the Chicago Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers, and the St. Louis Cardinals. When you look at these three teams, two of them have a lot in common. Powerful offenses led by subpar pitching staff. That's the name of the game for the Cubs and the Cardinals. The Cubs' offense will be led by Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, and Chris Bryant, who will each need to put up top numbers to help protect that pitching staff. The Cardinals made the big splash in the offseason in the NL Central, adding power bat Nolan Arenado. The five-time All-Star will be looking to produce the numbers he did in 2019 when he hit 315 with 41 home runs. The Brewers, on the other hand, went to a different approach. They strengthened up their defense. The addition of Colton Wong solidifies the middle of the infield as one of the top in baseball. The division, I believe, will come down will the Brewers' defense approach and strong pitching, but lack of offense, outlast the offense of the Cubs and the Cardinals, or will the offensive power of the Cubs and Cardinals be too much and that one of those two teams will win the division? Now onto the NL East, which is once again the Atlanta Braves to lose. They added starting pitching help with the addition of Charlie Morton, but to me the Braves' biggest challenge will not be getting to the playoffs, but will be getting over that playoff hump. In the last 2 years, they watched a 2-1 series lead fall apart in the NLDS, and then last year they watched the 3-1 series lead in the NLCS fall apart. I predict this is the year that they get over that hump. I think they slide into the NL postseason as the #2 seed and find a way to beat the Dodgers in the NLCS to move on and play in their first World Series since 1999. Now we move over to the American League, where we're going to start in the American League East, which is once again a division you need to keep your eye on. As per usual, the New York Yankees are the clear favorite to win the division, and honestly the clear favorite in the AL to get all the way to the World Series. Having a starting lineup that concludes Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, you have the firepower to score pretty much every time they're up to the bat. But then you add the starting pitching of Garrett Cole and now Corey Kluber. On paper, it's an easy pick. They should be at a World Series. The biggest question I have for them, though, is the injury bug going to plague the Yankees once again? The Yankees have been hit by this injury bug the last couple years with injuries to Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, and has really derailed them from reaching the top. I think they will find a way to make it through it all, and they will get to the World Series, first World Series since 2009. The AL Central comes down to two teams, in my opinion, and it's the White Sox and the Twins, both who have been there and have been competing for the division in the last couple of years. Both have very powerful offenses and can hit the ball a mile. I think the big difference, though, is the White Sox went under a manager change in the offseason. Tony La Russa comes in and is going to take over the club. I think that will honestly hurt them early in the season because they're just going to try to get the kinks and things figured out with a new coach with the players. But at the end of the day, I do not think it will hurt them enough to propel them away from winning the division and making the playoffs for the second straight year. Finally, is it Mike Trout year? That is the question everybody asks. Mike Trout, no doubt, one of the best players in baseball. He has not been into the playoffs since 2014 with his Angels squad, but I think this is the year that everything changes. The Angels will finally have a full season having Trout and Anthony Rendon in that lineup together with the powerful offense they should be. I think Mike Trout wins another MVP as well, having a powerful offense, leading this Angels offense and Angels team to a division championship. Well, guys, that's all the predictions I'm able to have today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Will. The NFL made some huge changes this week that will affect the entire schedule. The NFL has announced that the 2021 season will feature 17 regular season games. This means the preseason will drop to 3 games instead of 4. The 17-week season will be played over an 18-week span, still giving each team 1 bye week. This is the first major change to the NFL schedule since 1978. The season will begin on September 9th, with the postseason starting the weekend of January 15th to the 17th, with the Super Bowl being February 13th, 2022. The NFL schedules are set to be announced later this spring.
That's all the time we have today. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Leatherneck Insider will be back in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm Will James.
And I'm Johnny Jastrzewski. See you next time.